I'm Chef AJ, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. If this is the first time you're seeing me, I created this daily live broadcast the day after sheltering in place started, just to create a sense of community and connection with my group, but it went out to everybody and people seem to enjoy it and like it, and I'm receiving so many wonderful emails from you guys that you do like this connection. So I'm going to keep doing it even probably after sheltering stops, but I will be going down after tomorrow to only one broadcast today because I do have other projects that I do need to start completing. So today I have a wonderful guest who is going to tell you not only her story, but she's going to cook for us, and she's going to be making Italian stuffed peppers. I don't know how we didn't connect when I lived in Los Angeles, but it's funny. Now I'm meeting all these great people now that I'm gone. But please welcome to the show, Elysabeth Alfano. So nice of you to be here.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here. Thanks for having me, Chef AJ. It's great to be in touch with you.
It is my pleasure. And it's funny, the way that I heard about Elysabeth was I was researching anything I could find on Dr. Terry Mason when I interviewed him a few weeks ago, and that's how your name came up.
Yes. Oh, I love him. One of my Chicago peeps. I split my time between Chicago and Los Angeles, and I just love him. Of course, he was in Game Changers, and I believe it was Forks Over Knives. Anyway,
oh yeah, Forks Over Knives. He had that. He. That's where I first met him too in 2011. I love your T-shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. In fact, when I get to cooking, I'll have a vegan babe apron. So it's all vegan babe all the time in this kitchen.
Yeah. How long have you been vegan?
Oh gosh. Well, it's a weird story. I've been trying to be vegan my whole life. So as a kid, I didn't want to eat meat. I couldn't have explained to you any kind of moral dilemma, but it didn't feel good. I didn't like to chew it. I didn't like the taste of it. And I loved animals. I never had dolls and all those things. I just loved animals and I wanted to be around them all the time. And so something just didn't feel right. And my folks who, spoiler alert, I love them. They love me. There's no problem. My folks were really nervous about the protein issue. So they punished me pretty severely. And they made me stay at the table 2-3 hours at a time by myself. I wasn't allowed to be with the rest of the family. So, I started hiding the meat, like in my pockets and under the table and at the bottom of the garbage can. And then they found that, and then they punished me more for lying. And they put me in my room, and, everyone would be watching television. I couldn't be a part of it. So I grew up thinking you have to eat meat. It's what you have to do. There's no way around it. And, as I grew older and I saw factory farm footage, I just accepted that we all know it exists. None of us like it unless there's, a psychological issue with you, but no one likes it. It doesn't sit well with anyone's values, and we do it anyway. We function in life with this large disconnect because we have to. So I was always this closet person in the corner in the restaurant, sort of ordering the vegetarian dishes, but not talking about it, or, just living with this misalignment, which was kind of weighing on me. And then my nephew, who's an athlete, went to the University of Oregon, and he came back the first semester for Thanksgiving, first time back home. And he said, oh yeah, coach said, if I'm going to play for the team, no meat, no dairy. And I was like, oh my God, you got a professional to give you permission? I was vegan that sentence. I've been waiting because I've been so punished as a kid. I've been waiting my whole life for permission. So that was like 4.5 years ago.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think that I had a similar thing that my mom wouldn't let me be vegan but when I left home at 17, what could she do? But hopefully we're changing those myths with shows like this and with the work you're doing.
Yes. And speaking of which, so I have a bunch of shows too. It's funny that so I'm going to talk about my recipe in just a second because it ties into this. But when you opened your show, you said, oh, you started this sort of COVID show. And I've done the exact same thing. So I know that there are people, and first of all, my heart goes out to anybody who's suffering, and the loss of employment, of course, is so huge. And if anyone is sick, my heart absolutely is with you and your family and goes out to you. But for those people sitting on the couch kind of bored, I've never worked harder in my life. I used to do a show every day during COVID. And then finally I've got it down to 3 times a week. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do the plant-based business hour. And on Wednesdays, like today, I do the Awesome Vegans Influencer Series. So it's going to be fun to have you, Chef AJ, on my show at 1 o'clock today on Jane Unchained. the Facebook page. But really the catch-all is ElysabethAlfano.com, because everything goes to ElysabethAlfano.com. So you can see Chef AJ, she'll be up there by tomorrow, but also Dr. Terry Mason, Dr. Kim Williams, Dr. Scott Stoll, Dr. Greger, Dr. Barnard, Dr. Ornish, and lots of CEOs who are basically giving us a safe future, because a safe future is a safe food supply, and a safe food supply is plant-based foods. So it's very fun, I think, to look at the business perspective too and see really where we're going with all the products.
Absolutely. And I've just been hired by actually 2 companies to teach business classes. And I'm so excited because I really love that so much, because I love helping other people get started in businesses, like, plant-based businesses. So that's really become my new passion. So just so you know that Linda Middlesworth says, isn't she adorable? Yes. Zael says, what a babe. And Facebook user, I call you that because that's what it says. I know you probably have a name. What is your show called again, please?
Oh, yes. So every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock on the Facebook page, Jane Unchained News, I do the Plant-Based Business Hour. And every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, same channel, I do the Awesome Vegans Influencer Series. So basically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 1 o'clock, I'm on the Facebook Live page of Jane Unchained, and then it goes to Vegconomist Magazine and all my podcast platforms and my website, ElysabethAlfano.com. So you'll find me 3 days a week going live. Yikes.
Dina Marie says, I love her sparkling silver hair too. We're really seeing what people look like now with the sheltering.
I've been silver for a while, so none of that hair dye stuff for me. Because I thought, oh my gosh, I really go out of my way to eat the best stuff, not just vegan, but organic and, not processed. And then I try to stay out of the sun, and I exercise, and I get lots of sleep. So why the heck am I dousing my head with chemicals? So I got rid of that.
Good for you. I just wish mine would go one way or the other. When it's part and part, it's like,
Yeah, if you go to my YouTube page.
Sherry says she's lovely. Sally says, I don't know who your guest is. I just joined. Well, it is Elysabeth Alfano, and she's going to be making Italian stuffed peppers with us. And I'm going to be giving you her website all throughout this broadcast so you can check out everything she does.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Vegan, ain't no shame in this game. I love this.
And please, guys, share this broadcast, especially if you're watching from Facebook. It's very easy. There's a share button. You can share it to any groups and pages that you're on.
Yes. And for anybody who asked about my silver hair, so if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll just find it. Google Elysabeth Alfano YouTube. You'll see I have a transition video of how I went from dark brunette to silver. And there was a wig that kind of helped me get through there. But anyways, you'll find it on YouTube, along with a bunch of cooking recipes, because I should say that I love to cook because I'm Sicilian. So of course it's in my blood. And in fact, I'm one of the chefs of the new Amazon Prime cooking show, New Day, New Chef. And all my recipes are on my YouTube channel as well, because I just love to cook.
I watched that show, by the way, and it's wonderful. So if you have Amazon Prime, please watch the show. And if you don't, get Amazon Prime so that you can watch the show.
Yes, in fact, what I'm going to be making for you today, I made on that show, New Day, New Chef, and I'm episode 5. So that's what we're making today is stuffed Italian peppers.
That sounds great.
Yes. Well, so maybe I'll get into it. Oh, hey, I just happen to have here my Vegan Babe apron. Okay. Because it's all vegan babe all the time here in the kitchen. So I'm going to get to making Italian peppers. So I will say, again, I have this show, the Plant-Based Business Hour. And to have a safe future and secure future, you need a safe and secure food supply. That's plant-based foods. Personally, I try to keep my foods as unprocessed as possible. So today I'm going to be making plant-based stuffed peppers with tempeh, because I love tempeh. We're going to talk about protein in a second. But if you're super busy and you can't do this, you're going to see how easy and minimal it is. But if you can't do this, there is Beyond Meat. There are crumbles. There are those other meat alternatives. I would never, argue that you eat them every day. But pinch hitting here and there, it's way better than meat. And, catch as catch can. We do what we can. So, have you ever made, because I know you love to cook, Chef AJ, have you ever made peppers?
I have. I love making stuffed peppers, and I actually don't always use the green ones because I think the other colors are so pretty. I think it's fun when you use all the colors.
Yes, I so agree. In fact, speaking of all the colors, I'm going to run to my refrigerator and get an ingredient that I wanted to
Go
say.
ahead.
I'm coming right back.
And as long as you can hear me, Elizabeth, people are saying, I love your energy. You truly glow. And people love your personality. I love her spunk. I know, isn't it fun that you guys get to meet new people and I do at the same time? So that's pretty cool, isn't it? And thank you guys for being here also.
Okay. So Chef AJ and I decided last night that I would be cooking and not just doing an interview. So I love to make this recipe. It's so timely because of the Amazon Prime show, New Day, New Chef. So I went to my refrigerator and I was like, well, I've got one stuffed pepper. So usually, of course, this recipe is for 3 to 4 stuffed peppers, depending on the size. Today, I'm going to make one, but once you see me make one, you of course know that you can make 3 or 4. So I agree with Chef AJ. Don't use the green peppers, use the orange and yellow and red peppers, because one of the beauties about cooking is you are with the colors of the rainbow. So cooking can be very cathartic and relaxing and joyful. So stick with the bold colors. Should I get into it?
Yeah, you know, it would be really pretty if you did all 4 colors, like 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 orange, and 1 green.
Yes, so that's, again, if you go to my website or YouTube, but on my website, ElysabethAlfano.com, and you click on the recipes tab, you'll see all the colors of all the peppers and how pretty it is when you serve it to, you know, I love to cook for other people. So when you serve it at dinner or something, it's really just a gorgeous centerpiece. And then I love to serve stuffed peppers at dinner because then everybody gets their own. It's kind of fun, you know, it's kind of individual and unique, which is great. Yeah. And I'll just add, because I know Chef AJ, you do a lot of this, but I've been giving corporate classes to help people have wellness programs where their employees are learning about basic nutrition and plant-based foods, so that, you know, a healthy employee is also a less expensive employee. So corporations are really liking it. And I've been doing a little bit of what you're doing too, starting consulting on plant-based businesses to get out there and help us grow the future of food, because we do need more than Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods. And we also need, you know, less processed foods as well. So there's lots of room for lots of plant-based options.
Nice. So this is an interesting question from Joy. When picking out the peppers, do you do the male or female ones? I didn't realize they came in different sexes.
I pick by color. I am gender neutral on my peppers.
I love
pick
that.
by color. I didn't realize they were male or female either.
I'm going to have to Google that.
Yeah, what would make them male or female?
I don't know. I'm going to Google that right now, or maybe Joy, you could tell us what that.
Sure, Joy, tell us. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my mushrooms real quick. I'm coming right back.
Sure thing. Sherry says, we love hanging out with you two vibrant ladies. Thank you guys very much. Naomi says, no green peppers. I learned from you. Yeah, so green peppers are unripe. So if you feel like when you eat peppers, you feel indigestion, it's because it's unripe. So don't give up on peppers. Just use the yellow, the orange, or the red ones, and you should be fine. So somebody's allergic to soy. Any other ideas for what you could fill it with?
I mean, if you wanted to, I think you could do this exact same recipe with seitan, but yes, I'll say to that, I wonder if organic soy would pose as many problems for you. So of course, if you know the answer to this, don't go trying organic soy just to like double check it. But sometimes I hear that people, at least with gluten, if they have organic, it is much better for their system and they don't have a problem with it. So I'm just putting it out there. I wonder if that might be the same for you with soy.
Yeah, or maybe mushrooms or something like that. Maybe more mushrooms or more vegetables.
Yes, I mean, you know, you can also do rice or bulgur wheat, or, you know, brown rice, bulgur wheat, or couscous, or even quinoa. So you could make a heavy grain, and that could really replace the tempeh.
All right, so we obviously have a very smart audience. Listen to this. So the female peppers have 4 bumps on the bottom. The males have 3 bumps. The females are supposedly sweeter. Well, of course the females are sweeter, because in every species, the females are sweeter. This is fascinating that all these people, we have a smart audience that I never heard of that. So thanks.
Wow.
So how many bumps on your pepper, and we'll tell you if it's
I got
So it's a girl. Yay, it's a girl.
It's a girl. That's too funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, just because I had mentioned protein and my folks earlier and how they're so concerned about protein, as if the only thing that could give us protein were meat. That's what they thought. Okay, that couldn't be more true. All protein comes from plants. Protein does not come from animals. It comes from plants and microbes. So do yourself a favor and get rid of the very inefficient middleman there, so to speak. So here's tempeh, and this whole packet has about 50 grams of protein. And this is going to make about 3 big peppers. So each pepper is going to have, 17, 18 grams of protein when you're done with all the fixings and everything. So I'm going to get to cooking here. Here we go. Okay, little tip. Scissors. I think it's my favorite tool in the kitchen. Love to have scissors with me. I'm going to go ahead and cut open this packaging. Love to have scissors with me. Chef AJ, do you create new recipes every day?
I do not. I am probably the most boring eater in the world because like you, I'm really, really busy. And I find that if I just batch cook and eat not the same thing every day, but similar things every day, always have a chopped salad ready, always have sweet potatoes cooked, it's just easier. And then I have more time to do fun stuff. So, I used to do that a lot, but not, I'm 60 now. I'm kind of taking it easy.
I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, so here, just in case you've never seen tempeh before, let me show you what this looks like. It's a little bit like moonwalking to me, actually, like if you were walking on the moon, this is what it might look like. But it is fermented soybean. So completely unprocessed. I'm going to crumble it up in my bowl. Completely unprocessed, and really you can't get any better for you. And as I say, gobs of protein. It's just a wonderful, wonderful food. And it also has a lot of fiber. Oh my gosh. So this packet is going to have about 25 grams of fiber. So imagine that we are dividing that up usually between 3 peppers. So just the tempeh alone, just the filling alone is going to have lots of fiber, not to mention the pepper itself and the other things that we'll put in it. So I'm just no method to the madness here. Just crumbling up the tempeh.
Elizabeth, I just Googled to see if there was tempeh that didn't contain soy, and apparently you can get tempeh made out of lentils, chickpeas, and black beans that is completely soy-free.
Yes, I've heard of this. And you can actually, there's a UK company called Better Nature, and I think they make tempeh out of lupin.
Out of what?
Lupin.
I don't know what that is.
Lupin. I don't want to mangle it, so maybe Google it, but it's another wonderful source. Lupin.
Wow, I will Google. This is great. I am learning more today than any day this month.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to season my tempeh while we're figuring out what lupin is. I'm going to season my tempeh. And okay. Soy sauce. Got to moonwalk back here. Soy sauce. Okay, I just want to say, this is my boyfriend because I'm not this organized, but he really is. So he likes to label everything. Yeah, soy sauce. We're going to do about 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. And here's the gig. Why do people like meat? It's because of the spices. There's no real taste to meat except the spices. Just spice yourself the same way and move on. So we're going to spice it up here so that we have kind of the taste of meat, in case you're missing the taste of meat. Okay, so I've got my soy sauce in here. Now I'm going for cumin. Oh gosh, shout out cumin. So you really like this soy sauce, paprika, and cumin. You really want these in your kitchen. I'm gonna do a half teaspoon here. You really want these in your kitchen to bring on the taste of meat. I find that I rely a lot on these 3 spices.
Gisela wants to know if tempeh needs to be cooked or can it be eaten raw?
I think you can eat it raw. I mean, I never really do, but it's a fermented food. I think you can eat it raw. sweet paprika. And because I like my stuff spicy, I'm going to throw in a little cayenne pepper. Now, the thing about cooking is it's all about you. So if you didn't like onions, you wouldn't put onions in things. If you didn't like things spicy, don't do this. So every recipe is all about you. You just do whatever works for you and your family. So I'm doing a lot of talking, but usually this recipe whips up in no time. So I'm kind of extending out this recipe just because we're chatting so much, but back to cooking for your family. If you were in a rush, you could do this recipe, no problem. Super fast is what I mean. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so I've got tempeh, soy sauce, paprika. The soy, of course, is gonna have salt, so you don't need to salt this. I've crumbled everything up, and I'm just mixing in soy, sweet paprika, cumin, and cayenne pepper because I like it spicy. Okay. And then I'm gonna let this sit because I really wanna make sure that all the flavors infuse, but you don't have to let it sit for too long. Okay. Try to get everything covered here. Chef AJ, have you been having trouble getting the food that you need? Have you been going to the grocery store or having deliveries?
We go out once a week to do our shopping, and the only thing that we haven't seen since it started is beans in cans and rice that's prepackaged. But we're okay. And I was very lucky, Elizabeth, that a few weeks before this happened, I happened to be taking a certified emergency response training course just for like earthquake preparedness. And yes. It was almost like it was just unbelievable because I was ready. I mean, because I was preparing for another emergency.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Again, my boyfriend, who is so well prepared, he has stocks of not on purpose, just because we live near Costco and it's just easier for him. So for us, I guess easier for us. So we had, months supply of beans and 50-pound bags of rice and this kind of thing. Okay, I am now going to cut an onion. I will be the first to admit that I am not the best chopper in the world. I know that there are better choppers out there than I just kind of rush through it, I chop and I move on. So whatever works best for you guys, do it the way that you like. I'm gonna just chop along the ends here. So I've got half of a white or yellow onion. And now I'm just gonna make the base for everything that I do. So this is the base for my Italian pasta sauce. It's also the base for what I'm doing here with the stuffed peppers. Because I only have one pepper today, I will probably end up using this base over pasta later on today. I'll make the one pepper for you guys, but then I'll, this sauce has lots of uses, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay.
Elizabeth, a couple of questions. Where did you buy the tempeh? Could we use tofu instead of tempeh? And does tempeh freeze well?
Okay, so, yes, let me answer all those. First, I'm gonna say another little trick to the kitchen that I like, clean as you go. Then it's not so overwhelming. So I like to do that. So I just bought the tempeh at Ralph's or something. It was very easy to get. It's just a regular aisle thing in the vegan aisle. So I just, no problem there. And then can you freeze? We freeze it, but I interviewed the CEO, Dan Curtin of Light Life, and they're my favorite tempeh, I have to say. And they told me not to freeze it. They said, don't freeze your tempeh. So I don't know if it disrupts the fermentation process or something like that, but we used to freeze it. It came out fine, didn't change the taste or anything, but I'm told not to do it. Okay, another tip for the kitchen. Of course, if you want to saute vegetables and onions and make a base sauce, extra virgin olive oil. But if you're counting your calories and you don't want oil, I use mushroom broth. So mushroom broth is a great way to keep the umami flavor. but you don't have to have all the calories and the processing of oil. So I think you're pretty much no oil, right, AJ?
I am actually, I used to be obese and it's very calorically dense. And so I just like when people have options, to do it without oil.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what I'm going to do here today. So when you saute with mushroom broth, it is going to take a little longer, but that's okay because you're saving gobs of calories. And you're going to find, just get everything in here, you're going to find that when you're all done with this recipe, if you don't use oil, each stuffed pepper, which is pretty filling in the end, each stuffed pepper is going to be about 125 calories. So it's amazing that you can stuff yourself with 2 stuffed peppers.
Well, it's interesting because a tablespoon of oil is 130 calories. So that's amazing.
Yes, it is amazing. Yes, I love that you say that. Okay. Again, I'm just talking so much that usually this is a much faster recipe. Okay, chat. Here's one of my very favorite things about cooking. So sometimes people say to me, oh gosh, my life is so stressful. I really don't have time to cook. And I don't know when I'll ever get to it. And so I do coach people. I help them organize their kitchens, get rid of the stuff that's going to trip you up. I help them make weekly plans for themselves. I help them make shopping lists so that they buy the right stuff. So it does take a little bit of planning, but I'll say that if you can allot yourself a little bit of time to cook and not freak yourself out. And by that, I mean, if you plan for it a little bit in advance so that by the time you get to the kitchen, you have everything you need. Cooking can be very much a stress relief. So right now you see me peeling this garlic, but this is purple garlic, by the way. Isn't this pretty? Purple garlic again.
Everything is better in purple.
I know, isn't it? Yeah, we're all about the colors in the kitchen. But here's what, so usually it takes me a long time. You see, I'm like going through the garlic and it's like, oh my gosh. Okay, here's one of the benefits and fun things about being in the kitchen. Boom. Okay, so now, I need to do it again. Even better, you see? My Italian temperament. Okay, so usually I can just smash my garlic and it opens right up for me. Oh my gosh, this one is so big, I have to smash it again. The point of this conversation is that you get to get your stress out. Okay, wow, this is a very tough garlic, but it finally came out. So you see, I just saved a bunch of time there, and cooking is a great stress reliever. That's really what I mean. Okay, I can hear my onions doing their thing over here. So I want to quickly get in my garlic. Every once in a while, I'll hear someone say that they don't like garlic. I'm just so sorry about this because garlic is one of the best things on the planet, in my opinion. But of course, cooking is always about you. So if you don't like garlic, just don't put it in. No problems there. So for better or worse, personally, I think for worse, things keep getting bigger and bigger. Garlic never used to be this big. So I'm only going to use 2 cloves of garlic instead of 3. But I do want it to have a really rich garlicky flavor. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's really hard when, and I interviewed Chef Bravo recently, the executive chef at True North. And when people really can't have garlic, like legitimately, not just because they don't like it, or onion, I find that those are the 2 hardest things to be without in cooking.
Yes. I mean, what can you do in life without an onion? Oh gosh. I hear of people not liking raw onions, but it's rare that somebody doesn't like cooked onions, although of course it can be the case, or they legitimately can't have it.
Yep. I always say everything starts with an onion because I really do believe that.
Well, it does. It really does in the kitchen, but particularly, Italian cooking, but not just Italian cooking. I mean, what would you do without an onion? But I'm sure you could get creative. Okay, I'm going to put in a little basil. And I'm going to put in a little bit of oregano.
Helen would like to know, why do you smash the garlic?
So that I can break the skin, so it's a lot easier to peel it. And it's fun. But yeah, no, really, because I want it, it's a time saver. So, garlic can be very finicky. You're trying to get the peel and it won't come off. So, if I just smash it, it kind of breaks itself. All right. I am going to, because basically I'm making my tomato sauce, and then I'm going to add my meat, which is really my tempeh, seasoned tempeh to it. And then we're going to stuff our peppers, which today is one red pepper, but usually, I'd have several peppers. So, so let me, oh, wait, hold on. How could I forget? Mushrooms. So I like to put mushrooms. These are just beautiful mushrooms, by the way. The tactileness of cooking is always so fun. Look at that, just gorgeous, just gorgeous. Okay, so, and I love that connection back to nature with my food, and I love to just be connected to my food. I think it's sad that we're losing that connection, or maybe have lost that connection to food, so I love to be in the kitchen. And I love to do what you were saying, Chef AJ, love to do batch cooking, like with these peppers. I'm going to make enough to make 3 or 4 peppers. If I had all those peppers and I stuffed them, I'd have, dinner for tonight and tomorrow for the 2 of us.
Do you possibly have something else you could stuff it in, like a zucchini or an eggplant or maybe even a tomato?
Rather than the pepper?
Well, I mean, just because then you can have more leftovers.
Oh, you mean me? Oh, you mean me? Like not, oh, what I'll do is I'll throw it over pasta.
Nice.
I'll throw it over whole wheat pasta. Okay, so now I'm gonna throw in my mushrooms. Again, I'm not the best chopper in the world. Sometimes I really want it to be perfect and I spend the time with it. Sometimes, whoa, I just move on. So.
What I use is something called the Vidalia Chop Wizard. It's $20, Bed Bath & Beyond or Amazon, and that chops everything for me exactly the same size.
Oh, great. Yes, that's wonderful. I used to have one of those, and then again, I like to be in the kitchen. It's a stress reliever for me, so I like to do that. So I like to chop, even if it's not perfect. I mean, this is going to be a sauce, so it doesn't need to be perfectly even, but okay, I'm going to turn up the heat here. Again, this will take longer because it's not olive oil. Put that guy down. Okay. Great. So sometimes I put green pepper in at this point, just like a quarter of a green pepper, and I chop it in. Again, we didn't decide on cooking until late last night. So it's not an imperative ingredient, but you can, and it's in my recipe. In fact, this whole recipe is on ElysabethAlfano.com. Just when you get there, click the recipes tab and click the dinner tab, and you'll see right there the stuffed peppers, which, as I say, is the recipe on the new Amazon Prime cooking show, New Day, New Chef, episode 5. You'll find me on episode 5, which is so fun. Okay, I am adding a can of crushed tomatoes.
That's perfect because we just had a question about where the recipe is. So I'm actually going to find the link and then just post it for people to make it easy.
Oh, great. Yes, it should be ElysabethAlfano.com/recipes/dinner.
I found it. I'm going to post the exact link because you guys, that's the kind of person I am. Make it real easy for you to get this recipe. Here's the exact link for this recipe because some people like Dina want to make it tonight because she has all the ingredients.
Yay, Dina. Yay. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, so now I'm going to add a big heaping tablespoon of tomato paste. First, I'm going to add this in a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so I'm getting my thick, chunky sauce all together here. And again, if I had green pepper, I would have put it in, but it's not a make or break. Yes, it's coming together. And of course, what do we love in the kitchen are the smells. So some great smells are already coming from my kitchen. I just love. I'm going to add a heaping tablespoon of tomato paste. Tomato paste. Okay. Yes, it's really not a tablespoon. Heaping, folks. Heaping. Okay. Get that acid in there, which is so great. Now at this point, I am going to do a little salt and pepper, but if salt is not your thing, remember.
Don't worry. Luckily, we reconnected. Whew, that was scary.
Where'd you go?
Did I go away or did you go away or did we both go away?
I don't know. I saw you go away, but.
Let's see if the people are still here. Well, it says, Charles, are you watching by any chance, Charles? Because remember you were gonna make a comment so that we could test something out. I just need to know, Charles, from somebody if we're still live. There was a tiny glitch where we both went away or one of us went away.
It says live.
Okay, I think we're good.
We know from the comments. You guys tell us. You guys tell us.
Oh, good. They said that Elizabeth never left. Apparently I went away. So thank you guys.
You're back.
You were there the whole time, but I went
there the whole time.
Okay, I'm so glad.
I was there the whole time. And I forget what we were talking about, but I'm sure it was great.
Oh, I know. The last thing I remember saying before I went dark on my side was, do you like balsamic vinegar?
Oh, how I do like balsamic vinegar. I like all vinegars, actually. Last night we made a great portobello mushroom burger. Just take portobello mushrooms. This is like a recipe within a recipe, because of course we're really making stuffed peppers today, but just take portobello mushrooms, wash them, and then in a plastic bag, Ziploc, put in, you have to go to my recipe for the exact quantity. So that's elisabethalfano.com/recipes. I think it's in the lunch box. Put in Bragg's and put in balsamic vinegar, fresh garlic, just cloves, throw them in there, and rosemary. And you put that in the bag and you shake it, you marinate it, you like leave it, you take a shower, you forget, you go on with your life. This is how easy cooking is. You go away, you come back 3-4 hours later, put it in the fridge, of course, if you're gonna be gone that long, and you grill it, 7 minutes on each side. And then you put it on whatever vegan bun you want. Ciabatta is usually vegan, but I just do whole grain, like really German, dense, whole grain, like you can see the nuts and the seeds in it. I love it. I put it on that with lettuce, tomato, and mustard. Oh, baby. So anyways, the key to that is balsamic vinegar.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying is we have watching live Thomas Allen. He has a wonderful company in Ukiah called California Balsamic, and he makes just the most amazing flavors I've ever tasted, like teriyaki and Gilroy garlic and curry. And so he wants to send you a couple flavors in the flavor of your choice.
Oh, what are the flavors again?
Oh my God, there's like 30 flavors. I'm going to send you a link and you're going to get to pick 2 flavors that you like, and he's going to send them to you. My favorite happens to be curry and sweet heat, but he has all of his flavors are good, and he has new flavors in the works that I'm not allowed to talk about yet, but I think you'll really like them, because people were saying, well, if I don't use salt, what can I use instead of Bragg's or soy sauce? And that's how I got to know Thomas, because he has these very savory flavored vinegars that it tastes almost like soy sauce. So it's pretty good. So you're going to get to try them out.
Oh, I can't wait. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks. Because that sounds great. A lot of people do really want to cut down their salt, and I totally get that. So I'm so happy to try, because I'm just cooking all the time, and it's great to have salt alternatives. Okay. Secret ingredient, fennel seeds. Don't be making things without fennel seeds, people. Not a whole heck of a lot, but just a couple shakes. Mine has very tight holes, so I have to shake a lot, but just a couple of seeds of fennel, and that's really good. Okay, now you can see back to how we started. You see how everything's been marinating? This is my tempeh with cayenne chili pepper, but you don't have to add that if you don't want. Soy sauce, but maybe in the future you'll be adding balsamic vinegars from our friend Thomas if you want to cut down your salt. And then cumin. Ain't no way around cumin, folks. Cumin and paprika. So I'm just going to throw this into my tomato sauce, but I have to check on something from my garden. I'll be right back.
Okay, so if you have any questions while she goes away, I'm happy to answer them quickly. By the way, tomorrow I'll let you know that I have, it's so hard to get this guest, Dr. Thomas Campbell, at noon. And this is the son of the other Dr. Campbell, Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and he's also the co-author of the China study. And then I'm doing my monthly live Q&A tomorrow at 2, but then we're going down to 1 broadcast a day. And we're still trying to figure out a time. If you please would consider subscribing to me on YouTube, there's a community poll where I'm trying to figure out the best time. Right now, 3 p.m. is winning, but people, that's not the best time for people that are in other countries. So 11 o'clock has been the second choice. So maybe you guys could weigh in on that. So, oh, Elizabeth, there's a question on, is there a best onion for cooking in your opinion?
Just use I mean, it depends on what you're making, most definitely. If you want a red onion or a white onion, but I just use, oh, thank you. I just use a regular old white or yellow onion, and that works great. That just works great. I'm cleaning up here because I like to clean as I go. That way nothing is too overwhelming. And I'm just about to bring everything together for us. Okay, so now the time has come. I'm gonna add my tempeh to my tomato sauce, which, as I say, I seasoned with some tomato paste and garlic and onions, a little bit of salt and pepper, some fennel seeds. Okay.
Somebody thought you said instead of Bragg's, rags, but you mean Bragg's amino acid.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes. Bragg's amino acid. I'm going to show you how hearty and big this is. This is why you'll get a sense that you can make 3, 4, maybe even 5 peppers out of this one. And again, because of COVID and deciding at the last minute that I would cook for everybody, I don't have green peppers today, but if I had even a little bit of green pepper, that would make it even bigger. So let's just take a look at this. See,
That's beautiful. I could just eat that like as it is over rice.
I know. So you can throw this over rice, you can throw this over pasta, or you can put it in a pepper. So this is what I'm going to do. Usually, and again, if you go to the recipe that Chef AJ was kind enough to put on her site, you'll see I've got 4 gorgeous, colorful peppers, orange, yellow, red, and I usually do 4 in a plate like this, and then I bake it. But because I only have a solo pepper today, look, he's got his own little thing. Okay, so it's kind of like my peppers in a little bathtub. But okay, that's how I'm going to bake my pepper today. And I'm just going to core the top. And this pepper, thanks to whomever told me about pepper sexes, this pepper is a female, has a 4, I'm gonna get a smaller knife, has 4 bumps on the bottom.
Some people are saying now from Snopes that's not true, the pepper thing. So I don't like, I like it though. It's a fun thing, even if it's not true. I kind of like it.
Well, I will leave that to the internet to decide. Okay, so I just want to core my pepper, take the top off. There's a little bit in there that I'm gonna get rid of, but not so much, just over my sink here on the left, but there's not whoa. Not so much. The reason I want to give myself some room here is because I want to stuff the pepper. So I want to give myself as much room as I can. And then I keep the hats. So I'm going to clean off the side. So I have my pepper with a little hat. Again, I like to cook for people. I love to throw dinner parties. So it's very fun when you cook for people and then you can give them something individual like their own pepper. Okay, so now I think we're all ready. I'm just gonna go ahead and stuff my pepper. And I really like to pack it in there. I really like to, there are lots of nooks and crannies in a pepper. Whoops. Okay, we have tons of these around because I'm always using them. So there's lots of nooks and crannies in a pepper, and I really want to get it stuffed so it's even under the big bumps on top. But that's just because I really want my meal to be very full and very filling for people. I'm getting it all.
I agree. If you're not full, you're basically hungry. And that's what's so great about eating plants is you get to eat so much more food and be satisfied.
I know I'm always telling people like, oh my gosh, the problem to all, the solution to all of our problems, not just on a personal level, but on a planetary level, and on also, as we can see, a community level with COVID, is eating. Just eat the right stuff. Oh my gosh, like what a great solution. Okay, I'm stuffing it in here, stuffing it in.
And you're stuffing it raw, right? Because there's a question from Lori that you don't saute that pepper first.
No. And I'm really packing it down. No, this is one of the, this is why this recipe is so easy, is I don't have to do anything to the pepper. I just stuff it. Okay.
So Healthy Kitchen says from Oregon State University, it's a myth. The bumps are related to variety and growing conditions. Sweetness is usually a factor of ripeness. Red bell peppers are sweeter than green. I like the myth though. I think I'm going to keep perpetuating it. And Joy, I just posted the link if you want to be on my mailing list. I try it again. I don't think it's broken, but try it again.
Okay, folks. I'm going to clean up here a little bit because I love to overstuff even. And then I'm just going to show you how great oh, and by the way, I would, of course, at this point, be turning the oven to 350. Let it get to 350. And then what you do is, this is, I do a lot of recipes like this. Once the oven is at 350, look at our little pepper. Oh, I'll call it a unisex pepper now that we've had so many discussions about it. Look at our pepper.
This is so adorable. You know, I bet you could cook that in an air fryer.
Sure. I mean, I find that air fryers don't save me any time. I love them because they save me calories, but they don't really save me any time. So yes, I mean, a little guy like this, I could, you know, I have the oven here because it's what I'm showing you, but I could have easily just put him in the toaster oven. So it's 350 and that's it. That's it. And when it comes out, it's going to look just like this. You can again see the pictures on my website at elysabethalfano.com/recipes. Chef AJ has put the recipe for this guy up there, but it's just, the pepper will be a little bit browned, but otherwise it's going to look just like this. And I will throw in my pepper. So cute.
That is so cute.
Isn't that so cute? So I'm throwing in my pepper and that's it. 25 minutes. Just go ahead and take a shower, go ahead, get on with your life, do other things. And then when you come back, your pepper will be ready. All your dinner will be ready. It saves great. So it's great as leftovers, sometimes even better as leftovers, as all the juices and the tastes marinate. Oh my gosh, I did forget one thing. Sorry. I like to add mint. So I'm gonna go right ahead. This is fresh mint from my garden, by the way. I'm gonna rinse it, but it's fresh mint from my garden. And I add just a little bit of mint. So I'm going to take out my pepper and add it right to the top. It's not very much, but I find that Italian food in general, you can, a little bit of fennel seeds, like 1 or 2 or 3, really not much for the entire thing. And maybe like a couple leaves of mint. Just a little bit, and I'm going to stir it back into my pepper. And I just, you know, it's not hot yet because I haven't done much. Okay. I just, it takes a little bit of fennel and a little bit of mint. It takes the average meal to something kind of exotic and dimensional, really, in flavor. So I like to have mint and fennel in this recipe. But as we spoke, okay, back in you go. I have a lot left over and it can be used for so many things. Get in there. It can be used for so many things. So I'll put this over pasta and rice and lots that you can do with it. Or even just eat it, you know, you could just eat this straight.
Gisela asks, what are the little cups you put the pepper in?
Isn't that so cute? I'll show it to you. These are, it's a little Staub dish and it's really meant to be like a breakfast tofu scramble. I put them in here and I bake them, or I think they're called, I'm blanking on the exact, a Dutch, I'm blanking on the exact name, but if you go to the Staub website, they'll have these. I mean, they're very heavy. You can hear it. They're very heavy. They're very hardcore. So they do last years and years, and they're sort of on the expensive side, but they do love them.
They're very, very cute. So listen to what somebody said. The only thing that would be better than this is if we were cooking together. Any chance you'll come out my way and then we'll do a show together?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I can't wait. I would love to, because cooking is all about community. So I love to cook for other people. I love to cook with people. I do a gosh awful amount of cooking. As you know, I do a lot online, and then I do a lot of classes, and I know you cook online. So sure, anytime you want.
People are asking if maybe they're called ramekins.
Thank you. Thank you.
Or a mini Dutch oven, they're saying it looks like.
That's what I thought. I was going to say a mini Dutch oven. And then I was like, well, yeah, do I have that wrong? Yes, mini Dutch oven and a ramekin. It actually is both. Okay, so we are back to.
So Naomi says, if you were cooking multiple peppers, would you adjust the cooking time?
No, not really. No, I guess probably because my oven is so big that no, I wouldn't.
Susan says, Elizabeth is such a great guest. You're setting the bar so high now. We've got a lot of cooking demos coming up, and now people are like, you're just set the bar so high.
Well, I hope you guys learned some things. I'll kind of recap. Tempeh has gobs of fiber and gobs of protein, and basically very much like tofu, it's a blank slate. I could make sweet tempeh if I wanted to. In fact, last weekend, my boyfriend made barbecue, which kind of has a sweet flavor to it. He made barbecue tempeh. So don't be afraid of tempeh. I know it's something that in the United States, we don't really talk about too much as an ingredient, but it is so good for you. Fermented soybean, the most unprocessed thing you can imagine. So filled with fiber, filled with protein. So that's one. Cooking is all about your particular taste. So if you don't like onions, don't put them in, or if you don't like garlic, don't put it in. You don't have to follow recipes to the letter of the law. They're all about you and what works for you and your family. Bring in the colors of the rainbow to your kitchen if you can. If you can slow down and settle down enough to enjoy the smells, the texture, the colors. Cooking can be a great stress reliever. If you're looking to cut calories, woohoo! I saute with mushroom broth, which is always so excellent. And scissors are your friend in the kitchen. There's probably more tips to take away, but those are my top 5.
Well, those are amazing tips. Everybody asks every single guest I've had this question: what do you eat in a day, and what do you do for exercise?
Oh gosh, well, you know, pre-COVID, I was playing a lot of tennis because I love tennis, but now they've locked all the courts. You can't get in, of course. I jog, and again, pre-COVID, I was taking lots of exercise classes. So Zumba kind of classes and a body rhythm class to like keep your heartbeat up. So basically I do a lot of running type of things. Less lifting weights, which I should get more into lifting weights. So one of the things that I was trying to do during COVID, because I do have free weights at home, I thought, okay, this will be my time to like get into the free weight stuff. But I know a good portion of America is sitting on the couch bored stiff, but I've never worked so hard in my life. I know Chef AJ can relate to this. So I haven't had all the time that I would like to lift those weights. But basically like something you can count on because I love it is jogging outside and playing tennis. When I can get myself to the pool, I love to swim, but that requires a little bit of organization, whereas running outside your house, you just do it whenever you want.
Nice.
What do I eat in a day? Here's what I eat every morning for breakfast. And it is the breakfast of champions. I kid you not. Okay. And I'm all about fast. I take raw tofu. Yes, you can eat raw tofu. No problem. Tofu is also very much like tempeh. They're both soybean. Tofu is a little bit more processed than tempeh, fermented soybean. I take my tofu. It's a blank slate. I could go savory. I could go sweet. I add a half a cup of raw oats. Really try to get organic here. I try to do everything organic, but oats are kind of hard to find organic, so you kind of got to do your due diligence there. Fresh berries, a tablespoon of hemp seeds. Why do I like hemp seeds? Because I don't have to grind them like flax seeds or chia seeds. So it saves me a step, and I'm all about the fast because I'm not really a morning person. And then a tablespoon of date syrup. Oh, I love you, Dr. Greger, for turning me on to date syrup. So that is a low glycemic food, translates slower into pure sugars into your body. It also has some fiber because it's basically dates and water that have been melted down, for lack of a better word. So that is my approximately 400 calorie, approximately 18 to 20 grams of protein, and approximately 3 minutes to put together breakfast. And I do it 6 days out of 7.
That's amazing. That sounds delicious.
It's
So
not
that's
my
my breakfast.
That's
Then-
my breakfast. And then everything else is kind of catch can. So I do love to cook, but time is of the essence. So I'll love to, like I'll have this pepper, of course, for dinner now because I'm all set. And we have salad, just kind of whatever's around. I love to make guacamole for lunch, and that'll be my lunch with just corn tortillas. That's corn and salt. My boyfriend's an outstanding cook as well, and he makes things I would never make. He really goes towards the Asian palate, and I really go towards the Italian, Greek, Portuguese, Spanish palate. So, and then I make a lot of things that are very Americana, lasagna, gyros. I guess you can't call that Americana, but it's an ethnic dish that we've really taken on as our own. I do plant-based gyros. I do plant-based spicy Italian beef sandwiches. I do, grilled portobello mushrooms and chili and lasagna. So I do a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not really answering your questions. What do I eat in a day? I eat the same thing for breakfast, and the rest is up for grabs.
Know what you mean? It's good. It makes it easier. So there's a question. Are you a professional chef?
So I do work with restaurants and I help them veganize their menus. So if you know anyone who's like, gosh, this restaurant should have their vegan props and they don't, send them my way. So I do work with those kind of clients. But otherwise I do cook for people sometimes as part of the cooking classes I do for them to get them up and running. I'll cook for them for like a week so that they can get some things under their belt. But no, I've never worked, 3 years in a restaurant.
Yeah. So I'll feel free not to answer this question if you don't want, but she is so energetic about how old she is. Do you know? I don't know. I would never ask or guess a woman's age or weight.
Yeah, don't be guessing my weight because that won't fly. But so I kind of love to talk about this because I'll do a little bit of a preamble here. So when I went vegan, I figured I'd drop a few pounds. Woohoo, I did, which was awesome. I didn't expect to get a boost in energy. I'm already very energetic, but I did get that boost. And then the last thing I really didn't think or hadn't even thought about when going vegan, but it was so huge. As I mentioned in the beginning of this broadcast, I never wanted to eat meat because it didn't align with my personal values. Being unkind to animals is never going to align with my personal values. What I didn't realize is that living a life that was disconnected from my values really was a heavy weight for me. And when I lifted that weight, a weight I hadn't even realized I was carrying, I was so much lighter. So the inefficiency, and I'm all about being efficient because I don't have a lot of time, I got lots of stuff to do. The inefficiency and burden of not living an aligned life was heavy, and I'm so glad that I lifted it. So I think that also gives me extra energy. I really love the life that I've created for myself. And I think that comes through. Okay, I'm older, but I sort of have the energy of a young person, and I attribute that to diet and also kind of a personality thing. So I am 53 on Friday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, I'm 53 on Friday, and I realized that if I dyed my hair, then I would look probably a lot younger, but I'm so not doing that. I'm so over that. There are very few benefits to getting older, but here are some. I'm living my life the way I want to live it. I'm not living other people's life. It's my life. That's what I'm doing. And I'm not dyeing my hair anymore. So there you go.
Well, I think your hair looks beautiful, and you certainly have so many comments here that people agree, and your skin as well. You're getting skin compliments as well.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Well, you're great. I mean, this has just been the funnest. I mean, this hour felt like a minute. The way you're just a bundle of energy and joy and light and love. And I hope we get to be friends because I already love you. So maybe we'll get to cook together someday.
I would love to cook together. I actually think, so everybody tune in because, oh gosh, in about an hour at 1:00, Chef AJ is going to be on my show, Awesome Vegans, on the Facebook Live channel, Jane Unchained, before it goes to all my podcast outlets and other places and my website. We're going to be live today at 1:00 on Jane Unchained. And I hope that after we have our interview, you on my show, we can talk about collaborating because I think there's lots of ways we could have fun together. And
absolutely. And I'm posting a link for the Facebook page of Jane Unchained if they want to watch it live today. I just did that, so they can do that.
Great.
Absolutely.
Awesome, everybody. So I guess we'll see you in an hour.
Absolutely, because I have to eat lunch.
Yes, right. Okay. Well, wonderful. Thank you, Chef AJ, for having me. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you go ahead and make this very simple recipe when you have the ingredients. Super, super easy. But of course, reach out to me with any questions if you're not sure. And you always have my website as well at ElysabethAlfano.com.
All right. Well, I agree. You are a babe. So
good for me.
See you in an hour, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, hopefully at noon, when I have Dr. Thomas Campbell. He is going to be doing a Q&A. Take care, everyone. Thanks again, Elizabeth.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.